Advancing Sickle Cell Advocacy Project. The journey of Florida's historic sickle cell education bill. What started as wanting to see a change to improve the quality of care for sickle cell warriors in the state of Florida turned into a mission sustained by a community that refused to give up. In 2022, a shared vision between advocates and State Representative Felicia Robinson became action when the first sickle cell continuing education bill was filed. Warriors courageously shared their stories. Caregivers spoke from the heart. Families stood together, and legislators listened. There were setbacks. There were challenges. There were moments when the finish line seemed far away. But we never stopped believing that every person living with sickle cell disease deserves to be heard, believed, and treated with dignity.
Sickle cell disease is an inherited blood disorder that affects red blood cells, causing serious health complications, as a chronic pain, anemia, stroke, and more are sometimes the complications. Sickle cell disease is a condition that disproportionately affects individuals of African American or Afro-Caribbean descent. According to the CDC, approximately 1 out of every 13 Black Americans carries the sickle cell trait. Individuals with this disease are frequently labeled as drug seekers and are not prioritized or taken seriously when seeking health care in hospitals and emergency room departments to ease their pain. These patients are not only suffering from the pain caused by their condition, but also suffering from the discrimination and misconception surrounding it. This bill, which seeks to create a sickle cell management and treatment education course to be included in physicians' licensure renewal, will help increase physicians' awareness on these issues and help address the inconsistencies in treatment.
Good afternoon, and thank you to Madam Chair and all committee members for the opportunity to speak in support of PCS for HB 349. I'm the president of Advancing Sickle Cell Advocacy Project. I'm a certified sickle cell educator and counselor, but most importantly, I'm the mother of an adult living with sickle cell disease. I was told when my daughter was 2 years old, do not plan for college for her because she would not survive long enough to see college. And this was told to me by an emergency room physician. And I internalized this information to the point where we dreaded birthdays and felt as if it was getting closer every birthday to her not being here. My daughter is now 30 years old and has had over 50 hospitalizations. She's also suffered from several severe complications, landing her in the ICU, and she lives daily with chronic pain. One key aspect that this bill tackles is pain management, which is a critical and often overlooked component of sickle cell care. By acknowledging and addressing the unique pain points faced by individuals with sickle cell, this legislation takes a crucial step towards fostering a more compassionate and effective healthcare system.
Morning. As a person with sickle cell disease, I understand firsthand the challenges and the pain associated with the condition. It is crucial for healthcare providers to stay abreast to the latest advancements in the insights in managing sickle cell disease. Supporting HB 349 in Florida ensures that physicians will receive additional education through the Department of Health, fostering greater awareness and improvements in cares for individuals like me. I'm nervous now that I heard her, but I recently had surgery, and as a sickle cell patient, you have several of them, unbeknownst to you, because it can happen at any given moment. And before the anesthesiologist was about to knock me out, they had to verify that I had sickle cell. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? You are the person for putting me to sleep and the person for waking me up, and you're actually debating what I have. So this is a very huge, huge issue in the health community. Not only are you challenged whether you have the trait or do you have the disease, you're also challenged with the needs in which are, for lack of a better word, accustomed to you, because everyone with sickle cell deals with this differently. It took all I could do just to get up. I could only make it here at 11. I missed the 9 o'clock stuff because of the pain. And you have to wait till that medicine kicks in.
And Representative Robinson, I just want to commend you on the work you've done to get this bill in the place to be here today. Without information, without education, you are limiting access to care. So this bill will make such a positive difference for so many people, including raising awareness about sickle cell disease. So I just want to thank you very much for this. And once again, thank Chair Salzman for putting this on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And representing physicians as a nonprofit for the Palm Beach County Medical Society, I want to say I am looking forward to letting them know that this is a CME that they should and will take. I think that Rep. Ponchovsky said it does limit access if physicians are not familiar. My own disease was hard to diagnose when I was a child. I also understand what chronic pain and loss of vision is. So this is very personal, both on a professional and a personal healthcare level. So members, this is an incredible bill that it's wrapped in what seems innocuous as just a continuing medical education, but it will absolutely save a life and help a physician to provide the appropriate, proper, and holistic care that a person with this disease needs. And I have learned so much more about sickle cell in the last 2 years here in the legislature because of efforts like yours. And I'm proud to have an appropriation for sickle cell as well. So thank you so much for your leadership on this issue.
It's power in numbers is what I want to say. So when they start, sending out emails and sending out texts and stuff and saying, hey, we need you to write your representative or to get some information out, we're going to need all of you all on board because I'm just one person, but I speak for thousands and you all are part of those thousands.
In 2026, Senator Chevron Jones championed the legislation in the Florida Senate, while Representative Robinson continued leading the effort in the House.
Hey y'all, we are in Tallahassee and we just passed Senate Bill 844. We're going to get this across the finish line. We are working with our House partners and we want to tell all the sickle cell warriors that your advocates showed up strong for you here in Tallahassee, and we're looking forward to getting this across the finish line to the governor's desk.
We traveled from far to be here in Tallahassee today before the reading of SB 844, and we're so excited to report that it unanimously passed the Health Policy Committee today. So thank you, Senator Chevron Jones. Thank you for all of the supporters. Thank you for every committee member for voting yes, taking seriously sickle cell disease and making it a priority for our state. We're so happy and so excited for what this means to our community. And everybody did a great job. So thank you to our warriors. Thank you to our junior warrior who did an excellent job telling his story. We're so happy and so excited. And this is just the beginning. Thank you.
Hi, I am State Representative Felicia Robinson, representing House District 104. I'm here to tell you some great news. We have gotten HB 353, which is sickle cell education for medical professionals, passed its first committee. We only have one more committee stop. This bill passed unanimously, and it's going to make a huge impact on the sickle cell community, because now we're going to ensure that medical professionals receive continuing education on sickle cell so they can better serve our people. So I was so happy to have Kimba and our pastor and other sickle cell patients come up and speak and give a testimony of how sickle cell is affecting them in their everyday life. It made a huge impact on the committee, and it made ensure that everyone voted up.
Thank you for being here. You're recognized.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Anais Fernandez, and I stand here. I stand before you not as a statistic or as a talking point, but as a living human being, a sickle cell warrior. I am a Hispanic American of Cuban Chinese descent. I was born with sickle cell disease. My first pain crisis happened at just 3 months old. Before I could walk, before I could speak, pain was my introduction to life. Yet, throughout my life, I have been told I don't look like someone who has sickle cell. That I have been told by medical professionals that I do not have the disease because I am not African American. A genetic condition reduced to a racial stereotype. Science ignored. Humanity dismissed. This is why Florida must pass HB 353. Sickle cell disease does not check race before it attacks the body. It does not ask ethnicity before it causes organ damages, chronic pain, strokes, or death. It is genetic. Bias is not. I have walked into the Florida emergency rooms in unbearable pain, pain so severe it steals your breath, and instead of care, I was met with suspicion, labeled as a drug seeker. Treatment delayed, dignity denied. This is not an isolated experience. It is common for sickle cell patients across the state. And while care is delayed, warriors die. And we are losing friends. We are burying young people, not because medicine doesn't exist, but because belief, urgency, and policy fail. This is not a medical failure. That is a legislative one. HB 353 is not about a special treatment. It is about equal, informed, and timely care. It is about providing education, standardized protocols, and accountability so that no patient is dismissed because they do not fit someone else's narrow expectations. I live a warrior life I did not ask for, a life hospital visits, chronic pain, and strength built through suffering. And by the grace of God, I am still here, and many are not. So today I ask of you, Florida lawmakers, to act, pass HB 353. Pass it for the children having their first pain crisis before they can speak. Pass it for the patients whose worst pain has been questioned instead of treated. Pass it for the warriors who have already lost. Florida has the opportunity to lead with compassion, science, and justice. Our pain is real, our lives matter, and our time is now. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
And then I want to thank all of our colleagues here because, as has been stated, for the last several years, we have been addressing sickle cell. And so I just thank you all for taking an extra step to move forward in this way. What happens, just to give you a little bit more explanation, it's an organization called ASAP. They're called Advanced Sickle Cell Advocacy Project. It's actually sickle cell warriors, they're caregivers, and they actually have doctors. The doctors that I met was from University of Miami and Memorial Health down in South Florida. And they're the ones that said that a bill like this was actually needed. As I stated, these patients, one warrior said they went to the emergency room and the doctor asked, "So when did you get this?" Well, if you know about sickle cell, it's inherited. So that person has had it their entire life. So just a simple question like that for a medical professional not know is a major problem. So I'm not going to prolong this because I know I'm the last bill, but I thank each and every last one of you all supporting this, and I hope that you all will give us a favorable vote.
The question now recurs on final passage of CS for SB 844. The clerk will unlock the machine and the members will proceed to vote. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? The clerk will lock the machine and announce the vote.
113 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. Speaker.
So the bill passes. Read the next bill.
Committee substitute for Senate Bill 844, a bill to be entitled, an act relating to sickle cell disease care, management, and treatment, continuing education.
The Senator of the 34th, Senator Jones, you are recognized to explain the bill.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Good afternoon, members. Members, sickle cell disease affects hemoglobin, which is the major protein that carries oxygen in red blood cells. Normally, red blood cells are disc-shaped and flexible, allowing them to move easily through blood vessels. In sickle cell disease, red blood cells are misshaped, typically crescent or sickle, shaped due to a gene mutation that affects the hemoglobin molecule. When red blood cells sickle, they do not bend or move easily and can block blood flow to the rest of the body. According to the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, 100,000 people in the United States and 8 million people worldwide are affected by sickle cell disease. 90% of people who have sickle cell disease are non-Hispanic, Black, or African American, with about 1 in 13 Black babies being born with the sickle cell trait. Individuals with sickle cell disease routinely report delayed care, inadequate pain management, and provider bias, particularly in emergency care settings. While there are doctors who specialize in sickle cell disease, many healthcare professionals receive little to no formal training on sickle cell disease, which leads to mismanagement of pain and preventable complications. SB 844 updates Florida law to ensure that education on sickle cell disease is included in both controlled substance prescribing education and initial licensure renewal requirements for certain healthcare professionals. Licensed physicians and nurses must complete a one-time, 2-hour board-approved continuing education course on sickle cell disease care management as part of their first license or certification renewal. The course must cover, but is not limited to, evidence-based treatment protocols for patients of all ages, continuing patient and family education, periodic comprehensive evaluations and other disease-specific health maintenance services, psychosocial care, genetic counseling, and pain management. And that is the bill, Mr. President. But thank you all for hearing my bill. But I also wanted to give a shout out to Kimba Gassier, who is the CEO for ASAP. She's from my district, and Mr. President, she came up, and you all saw her and her son and the people she brought up, who she called the Sickle Cell Warriors. She traveled up here every week until this bill was heard, and she couldn't be here today, but I'm sure she's watching. And Kimba, to them from the entire Senate, we thank you for your advocacy for all the sickle cell warriors across the state of Florida, and I hope I can get your all's favorable support. Thank you, Mr. President.
Secretary will unlock the board, and senators will proceed to vote. Have all senators voted? Secretary will lock the board and record the vote.
37 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
Show the bill passes. Please read the next bill.
We're so happy to be out here at the 2026 Black Family Expo, and we are so happy that Representative Felicia Robinson stopped by our tent today. Representative Robinson has been a champion for our community, also for the sickle cell community, and we're so happy that she carried our bill for the last 4 years, and now it's on the desk of our governor. Thank you, Representative Robinson, for all you do.
No, thank you. I mean, no one can advocate for you like yourself.
Absolutely.
So I truly appreciate you being a caregiver and having all of your warriors come up and speak to what's happening. People, this is how we stay engaged. I always say, Florida's mine.
All right,
it's yours.
11:15,
It's
we're gonna
ours.
get the line
And this is how we show
11:15.
that we are about being engaged. So I'm very
We got a
happy.
few minutes to get to the
governor
dance
has
floor.
till April the 2nd to sign it or just let it become law. And I believe we're going to do it.
Amen, we will. All right.
State Representative Felicia Robinson. Some your brief remarks about the policy, advocacy, and how it impacts the community. Give it up for the Queen.
Good afternoon. And I want you all to give a round of applause to yourselves. So I carried this bill, 4 years? We carried this bill for 4 years. We filed it every year to try to push this forward. And I couldn't do it by myself. As you heard, Senator Jones carried it on the Senate side and I carried it on the House side. And we switched up a couple of years to try to make sure we got it right. But every time that we were able to get this bill heard in a committee, some of your warriors and your caregivers came up to give testimonies and talk about how this bill was going to be a major impact in their lives. So I truly want to thank them for doing that because it matters. It matters. We can advocate for something, but no one can advocate for themselves better than the person themselves. And so I ask you all to truly support and, give them a handshake for the warriors that actually came to Tallahassee time after time. This bill had to go through, 3 committees? 6 committees. Well, so it went on 3 on the House side, but it had to go on 3 on the Senate side. And every time they came to speak. So I'm not sure if you all are really familiar with the process in Tallahassee, but it's not abnormal for it to take 4 years or more to get something passed. But we know that this is so important that we continue to stay focused and keep on pushing. And so I ask you all to continue to do that because your health is very important and anything that we can do to ensure that our sickle cell warriors and their caregivers have the best of care is so important. And that's why it was so important to me, because my thoughts is, if you're not healthy, then nothing else really matters. So anything that we can do to support you all, I'm definitely there. I've been there from day one, and I promise that I'll continue to be there throughout to ensure that we make an impact. I remember years ago, I had a cousin that had sickle cell, and no one had no knowledge of it. It wasn't spoke of. So you've come a long way, and I just ask you all to stay in the fight so that we can continue to push things forward. And thank you, Kimber, for actually, giving me that inspiration and giving me this to file this bill. Okay, so I'm gonna sign. This is symbolic because the governor did his signing already. But I'm gonna sign as a representative that carried the bill. Senator Jones will sign as the senator that carried the bill, and Kimber will sign as the founder of ASAP, who pushed this legislation forward. And then we're going to actually frame it. And I guess it'll be in you all's office or whatever, but it actually has the language, the statute that's now in law in Florida.
Man, this gives me goosebumps. Come on.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Play the right music. Just play the right music for this.
All right, everybody look this way and smile. Smile. Here we go. Smile. Here we go.
For you. Yes, I have a daughter that's a warrior, but it's bigger than that. This is for every single warrior in the state of Florida. This is all about win. I need warriors to make some noise right now. This is all about win. This is for us. You have a voice. You are seen. You are heard. You are important. And we're going to get in the paint and continue to stay in the paint to do the work. Thank you. And thank you to my ASAP team. I love you so much. My heart is overwhelmed. I'm sorry about this. Don't be sorry. Okay, don't be sorry. We love you.
On March 27, 2026, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed HB 353 and SB 844 into law. And on July 1, 2026, that law became effective, requiring healthcare providers across Florida to receive continuing education on sickle cell disease care. This was more than the passage of a bill. It was the result of 4 years of faith, perseverance, partnership, and unwavering advocacy. Our deepest gratitude goes to Representative Felicia Robinson for leading the charge and never giving up, and to Senator Chevron Jones for his advocacy and dedication. Thank you to every legislator, committee member, advocate, caregiver, supporter, healthcare partner, and warrior who raised their voice. This moment belongs to all of you. At the Advancing Sickle Cell Advocacy Project, we see this moment as both a victory and a call to action. We will continue to advocate, educate, and uplift the voices of our community. Because our warriors deserve more than awareness. They deserve compassion, dignity, equity, and they deserve hope. Florida has taken a historic step forward, and together, we rise higher than ever.